Hey everybody, welcome to What the Tech. I'm Andrew Zarin. Of course, I'm joined by the one, the only, the founder of the Win Supersite website, Mr. Paul Thurrott. How you doing, Paul?
I'm okay.
Busy day today, huh?
Yeah.
For both of us.
Busy day.
For both of us. We had an entire conversation. I was at the doctor's office. I blew up my back yesterday. I had to go to the doctor. But the process of going to the doctor is not simple, where I get in the car and I go to the doctor. I have to take my wife to work. And today happened to be her early day, so I had to get up at 5 a.m. to drive her to the train station, to the subway, which is nowhere near me. I had to go to the other end of Queens to go to the subway so she could get on the F train so she could go downtown. I came back, I slept for an hour, got in the car, and drove an hour to go to my doctor because my doctor has decided that she is moving her office to the middle of nowhere. And then proceeded to wait there for about an hour and a half for her to see me. And by the time I got back, 2 o'clock. So that's been my day. I've just been driving around.
Well, I am sorry.
Yeah. How was your day, Paul?
You know, it's been busy. I sat in front of the computer probably 8:30 or so. Usually by 10:30, 11, I'm ready. I can go for a walk, you know. And somewhere around 12:15, my wife walked in. She's like, "Are you going to have lunch or what's going on here?" And I'm like, "Oh, crap. Like
Day's almost over.
Been writing straight through." And so, you know, I ate lunch and then writing straight through. And there's still stuff I'm not, I'm not ready to move on. Anyway.
You know, I don't really drive that much because when we go out, we go around the block. Like there's a bunch of restaurants and bars and, you know, I like to drink and I'm not going to risk getting in the car and driving and having a couple of drinks. So I walk everywhere. My wife is the one that drives to work and everything. And I work from home, so there's no reason. And I have forgotten how miserable in-car technology is.
Yeah.
And how unusable some of the stuff is. Like, I've never gotten Bluetooth to work, ever, no matter what phone. I just got it to work for the first time. I felt so... I mean, I've never felt that excited about getting a piece of technology from 10 years ago to work. I finally had the OnePlus. Out of all the phones that I have, the OnePlus connected via Bluetooth, no problem. Bluetooth music was streaming, no problem. All the applications worked. But I've never gotten it to work on anything else.
Right.
And the navigation systems on these cars, I don't even understand how their navigation... I mean, it's an embarrassment. When you have Google Maps and you have services like Waze and even Apple Maps and what Microsoft is doing, how... It's so archaic. The way that the touchscreen is in the car and the way that the navigation functions. It's unbelievable.
Right. I mean, the problem is you've experienced good technology. So, cars are infamously
bad.
Years behind.
Yeah, and I have a 2013. I mean, I have a 2013 Infiniti.
No, but I mean, when it came out, it wasn't cool and up to date. You know
what
I mean?
It never was.
It's just the way that it is.
It was...
I almost feel bad for car makers. Almost.
You know, and then you think about Apple Car, whatever they call it. What are they calling it? Apple Play? No. What's the car service? CarPlay. CarPlay was supposed to be a big deal, and it seems to have been forgotten.
No, it's happening. It's because of the release schedule for cars. I mean, that's the way it is. It's not... Apple devices come out like 2 or 3 times a year, Cars come out once a year, obviously. But I mean, model years, technology in cars is the type of thing it's going to come out in a couple. It's slow.
Yeah, GFQ viewer 3463 in our chat room. By the way, if you're watching live on any number of our websites, we're on Vaughn, we're on Daily Motion, go to our website, gfqlive.tv. We have a great chat room, about 140 people in there right now. A lot of interaction happening. We look for advice and tips and just... comments in the chat while we're doing the show. GFQ viewer 3463 says they have a brand new Nissan Leaf, all electric car, and the navigation and audio is still stuck in 2004. Well, you probably have the same exact navigation system in my, in the car.
My particular car has really nice Bluetooth capabilities. It will, connect very seamlessly with any phone very easily. Like we've had trouble in my wife's car with just making that connection. I get a text message. It actually prompts me and says, "Hey, You got a text message from Stephanie Thurrott. Would you like to read it or listen to it or whatever? Yes. And then you say yes. And then it actually reads it to you. I'm like, this is really impressive. You know what I can't do though? Connect or use Bluetooth to move music from my phone to the car. It won't do that part of it.
Oh, because it has a hard drive.
I don't know why, but it just,
Yeah.
that's the one part. It does all this stuff with Bluetooth. Can't do that.
No, you can move music because it has like a built-in hard drive.
No,
No.
it won't play music. It won't.
It won't play it.
Bluetooth. There's no music.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's really strange. And so I have to connect a wire to play music off a phone. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
And the only thing that I can connect to it is an iPod through USB.
How ironic.
Right. And only an older iPod. Like I can't use any of my iPhones. Like an iPod Touch doesn't work. It has to be like a Nano or older.
Yeah, my car has like I think it has like a 300 gig hard drive built in where you could it has you just load up your songs in there and then that's it.
Yeah, that's
done.
okay. I mean, that whatever. I don't mind. I wouldn't mind that.
But who's doing that? You know what I mean? Like who's
right?
It's actually really funny. My wife's mom, my mother-in-law, bought a like an Infiniti sports car, and it was pre-owned. It was like a year old, and the guy that had it had loaded up the music in it, tons of music
on there
and left it on there. He had like 2,000 songs.
That's funny.
Unfortunately, it was all like Spanish, like Spanish rap songs.
That's awesome.
Every single song was a Spanish rap song, and she couldn't figure out how to remove it. She had no idea, and she had to take it to the dealers for them to do it. I thought it was really funny that this guy just left everything in there. But you know what I was saying? Like, you're seeing old and new car commercials, and sorry if this is kind of off track, but it kind of has to tie in with everything when we talk about technology on the show. They're starting to sell, like a lot of these GMs, a selling point is that the car has 4G. The first, I forgot, the first mid-size sedan with 4G. Why?
Yeah, but how does that work, though? Do you have to pay for this?
I'm guessing you have to pay for it.
I mean, you can't, right? It's not going to be free.
Yeah, but why wouldn't they just do Wi-Fi and allow your phone to tether the 4G to it?
Right.
Right? Like, why wouldn't you do that?
Well, why wouldn't you do both? Because I could see some people, individuals would want to use their phone. They're already paying for that. And then some other people might want to lease it through work or something and have work pay for that because, maybe it's a work car or whatever. But yeah, I mean, they should do both.
Yeah, it acts as like a hotspot.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, they're just getting
they
it
have
now.
hotspots. They definitely have that.
Yeah, they have hotspot cars, so it exists.
Yep.
It's really behind.
Yeah,
We're just getting there. So let's go into this because I had a couple questions for you. You posted an article on winsuperstar.com.
I did not.
Are you sure?
It wasn't me.
It was the other Paul Thurrott. It was Bizarro Paul Thurrott.
Right.
And the headline caught me, and it says, an offer you can't refuse. All Office 365 subscribers will get unlimited OneDrive storage. This is phenomenal. First of all, by unlimited, do they mean unlimited?
Right.
Now, the term unlimited, as we've learned over the last couple of years, does not necessarily mean as much as you could consume.
Sorry, as we're talking, something else has just happened. So now it's
a whole
this
thing.
kind of day that I'm having. All right. So as far as it being a really unlimited, yes. I mean, it's not available right this second, and so obviously, they don't really talk about this. In fact, I'm not clear they've ever mentioned this. But having used third-party apps with OneDrive, I know there is some form of throttling going on, right? So even if you could completely saturate your upload connection and bombard OneDrive with every iota of data that you have on your hard drives, it's probably going to take a while to get that stuff up there. So, I mean, that's a limit, it's just sort of a practical limit. But now that they've done this, I mean, I'm very curious about this because, there's a couple of things to think about. One is that if you go to a retail store or online, I guess on Amazon probably or whatever, you can buy an Office 365 personal or home card that has a product key on it. And sometimes those things are on sale.
Yeah.
Right? And so the normal price is $69.99 for personal, $99.99 for home. And those both give you 1 year of Office 365, whatever, for yourself or for your family, up to 4 people. But Okay, but you can get that thing on sale if you apply this. If you buy a bunch of them, you could buy three cards, put them into the same account. You actually extend your account out for 3 years. So if
Sure.
you do get these things on sale, I mean, you could even get it cheaper, and you could extend it out and not have to worry about it for a couple of years. And so if you look at the available, and this is Office 365, remember, it's like full Office, Skype
It's
minutes, it's all this other
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I mean, it's 100% Office, and I think a lot of people have a misconception that it's only web-based Office. That's not the
No,
case.
yeah, no,
And
no.
I've had to explain this to somebody. People that kind of understand, like they think Office 365 is their web client. It's not.
Yeah.
It's full Office. You download Office. You have it on your computer. Obviously, you could use Office in a browser,
Right.
now, but it's full Office. You download it and you install it and you put in your credentials and you're set.
Yes. And so, I mean, even if you were just in the market for online storage, where could I go to get online storage for cheap? What would that look like? And obviously, I would want like a service I've heard of. I don't want bobscloudservice.com or whatever. I want Microsoft. I want Google. I want Amazon.
Dropbox.
Dropbox. Yes. What makes the most sense from functionality perspective, performance, compatibility with applications, and storage, and actual storage. And Microsoft obviously has some ground to make up in some of those categories, but as far as like available storage and the fact that they are literally a tier one company, they really have no peer. And the other thing, and this is what I wrote today is like kind of a news story, is that in many ways they've sort of reset the conversation on this. Whereas a company like Dropbox would approach cloud storage as the service. That's what they offer you. They're offering you cloud service. You pay for that service and you get whatever benefit you get out of it. With Microsoft, that's gone away. Cloud storage is no longer a service. I mean, it obviously is a service, but what you're paying for is Office.
Yeah,
This is just a feature.
it's a feature.
And I don't know, Microsoft is trustworthy, I guess is all I'm saying. And the chances of them being around in 10 years is a lot greater than the chances of Dropbox being around, let alone, Bob's storageservice.com or whatever. So, I mean, this is like an incredibly safe, amazing deal that, by the way, works with every single one of your devices. Incredible. It's incredible.
So here are my questions for you.
Yep.
With Dropbox, like I use Dropbox. I have the 1 terabyte plan, and we
And
use
how much
it
does that cost, by the way?
I think it's $10 a month. Because I remember
So-
they lowered their price for
Yeah, in response to Google and Microsoft going to 1 terabyte.
Yeah.
plans. Yes.
so
Yep.
uh,
So, but can you pay for a year up front and save some money, or is it just $10
let's
a
see.
month?
Actually, let me find out. Dropbox.
'Cause that's one of those things. I don't know if you noticed this. This is a trend with subscription services. A lot of subscription services will say, "Hey, we're $9.99 a month," but if you buy it up front, you pay $99.99, and so you're sort of getting 2 months for free there. A lot of services are going away from that now. Spotify did that, for example, where no, like you pay every month, and you don't have that savings capability anymore, which is too bad.
I don't know. You know what? I don't think they give you the option because it's $9.99 for.
Okay.
Actually, let me see. If maybe it's possible. I'm on the monthly, so I don't know. No, $99 for the year or
there you
$9.99 a month.
So, well, that gives you the comparison then.
Yeah.
So it's the same price as Microsoft. It's a terabyte. That was what 2 days ago. That's what, it's actually today, Microsoft is giving you a terabyte. But Microsoft is also giving you full Office, and full Office for, I think actually it's 5 people. I think it's you plus 4 other
It's
people.
5, yeah.
5 people. So, I mean, seriously, like even if you said, look, I don't like to spend money on this kind of stuff. Everyone in my family doesn't need Office. Maybe just I do. And I'm going to buy it once and I'm never going to upgrade it again. So I don't want to have to pay that kind of subscription fee every year for Office. You could spend, I guess you could spend $100 on Office, at the cheapest, maybe 150.
But you're
like
not
that.
getting. I mean, what are you you're getting Word and
Just
and-
getting that version,
Publisher.
2013,
no for $100.
probably.
I don't think you're getting Outlook, are
The
you?
home no, maybe not the Outlook.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the exact same applications. The point is,
Yeah.
people look at this, well, I don't want to, I want to buy Office. I want to own Office. Okay, congratulations. Well, I mean, now you're kind of stuck with this version of Office. So enjoy that, but I mean, for the price of just what Dropbox is offering, you get full blown Office and the Skype minutes and all the other stuff for 5 people for the same exact price. I mean, it's like, that's a no brainer, but now the storage is unlimited. It's not even a terabyte. It's whatever you have.
So because they're bundling this in, I guess it's a feature of Office, technically the unlimited.
Yes.
The way that Microsoft, and this is just my idea, right? The way that you justify offering unlimited storage is that because it's mostly Word documents that people are doing in Office,
Well,
or
in Office
or
you are, but you can
Excel.
put anything you want in there.
Okay, so are people actually using it like that? That's what
But see, that's the point. So in other words, like today, I would say that people are not today doing that.
because I'm not, and
No, but I would also say you're not. You would be a little more difficult because you're on a Mac. But the one thing that people aren't getting right is or don't understand maybe, is in Windows 8 and newer, Microsoft has made it a lot better to do this directly from your computer. So for example, I mean, I have a home server and it's literally a server. So I can't actually, well, I haven't tried this. I don't think I could do this in server, but I could have like a home server type PC that wasn't my main PC, or it could be my main PC. I guess most people probably just have the PC and you have all the storage attached to it. I mean, you could literally say, well, I'm going to drag and drop everything into my OneDrive folder. I'm going to go to bed. Actually, you're going to go to bed for a week of nights because it's probably going to take a while. And over time, that thing will sync up to the cloud. But once it's synced up to the cloud, then you can on your computer you can say, make available offline only.
yeah.
And that stuff it stays in the cloud, but now it's not taking up storage on your computer. So over time, even people with low capacity drives could be copying stuff into OneDrive, waiting till it syncs, marking it as offline only, and then doing the next batch. So you might have 10 years of digital photos. You might have a ripped DVD collection. You might have your own personal videos, music.
And you could determine, you could say that I want this folder to be offline. I want this folder only be online.
But once it syncs to the cloud, it's always there. It does not have to be on your computer. You don't have to sync everything.
See, that's the problem with Dropbox, right? Because with Dropbox, when you, like, I'm in Finder and I'm, it's the same on Windows. Whatever I see in that Dropbox folder has been synced to my hard drive. So I'm using the storage. I'm using my hard drive. It's just,
I'm not actually completely familiar with how Dropbox works. I would be surprised if Dropbox didn't offer a way to.
I don't think they do.
They have to.
I don't think they do offline viewing in the in the
file system.
In the file system.
That they probably don't do, and actually that's part of the reason I was saying earlier that you and by you I meant like as a Mac user. So the Mac client for OneDrive and the Windows 7 client for OneDrive are not as sophisticated as what we see in Windows 8 or Windows 8.1 or Windows 10.
Well, I mean, that also has to do with the fact that we're still on an older version of Office on the Mac.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully those clients are updated over time. I mean, so one of the things I would say to people is because, whenever you write something like, hey, Microsoft just made storage a feature, it's, Dropbox is dead, and people get a little burned by that kind of thing. And they'll point out very specific features, that Dropbox has that OneDrive still doesn't have, the ability to share a file that's in Dropbox through the file explorer in Windows or something.
In Windows you can, on the Mac you can't.
Okay. So
you can, but not, it's a little bit more.
It's coming in Windows 10, but whatever. There's no, I don't know how Dropbox handles this, but in OneDrive, there's no way to see the files and folders that other people have shared with you through OneDrive.
Okay. In the
they
file
know about
system.
this. I talked to them about this almost 2 years ago. They know, and I think this will come, but for the handful of people where these things are like a deal breaker, yeah, okay, stick with Dropbox, pay the fees. Maybe over time things get better on OneDrive, you can come back to the fold, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I don't think that those are, in fact, mainstream deal breakers. I think for most people, it's just, you get it as part of Office. It's $99 for everything. You can put every bit of data you're ever going to own into this thing, and it will be safe forever. Yes.
Okay, so here are my questions.
Yes.
One, when it comes to media, right? Because someone in chat said with OneDrive, you could put all your games in there technically.
Yeah.
All your, even Xbox, right?
No, you cannot store Xbox games in OneDrive. But
So I guess people have to get used to the concept of taking all their data, just dumping it into this folder locally, and that folder just magically goes in the cloud, and that's it. It's there forever.
Yeah. So look, we all have different backup strategies. All I can tell you is for myself in the distant past, I used to back stuff up on. I have zip disks and tape drives. I went to CDs at some point, like CDR, CDRW. I went to various recordable forms of DVD. And I think we've talked in the past, years ago, at one point I bought my first like 1 terabyte external hard drives, Firewire 800 based at the time, if I'm not mistaken. Various versions of Windows Server, home servers, drive duplication, server backup, cloud backup, yada, 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 on and on it goes. And I would just say that like at this point, if Microsoft is going to offer unlimited storage to something like OneDrive, I mean, I think now we have our answer for the future, like that this is what normal people can and should do, because it's unlimited and
Sure.
because it's safe and it's Microsoft and it works with not just Windows PCs and devices and phones, but also Macs and Android devices and iOS devices. It works with everything. And so if you want to, and Apple just made integration capabilities in iOS 8. You can access OneDrive from any app that supports this in iOS 8. Wonderful. It's everywhere. Why wouldn't you use it?
Yeah, why wouldn't you? But that's the question. Why wouldn't you use this if it's there? If it's on everything
because
that
you're
you
a
have?
stinker of some kind. I mean, there are obviously some people who are just anti-Microsoft. There are some people who, like I said, have very specific needs, and they look at this and they say, yeah, this doesn't help. I have this specific need, and this is really important to them. And sometimes it is, and sometimes I don't really know for sure. But you know what? Fine. It's fine. So you do what you want. But I just think for the majority of people, this is a tremendous deal. Tremendous deal.
Yeah, I need to start using this. But like you said, unfortunately, it's not as feature. It's not rich with the features that you get with Windows 8 or Windows 10 on the Mac or on Windows 7.
Yeah. It's definitely not as good on the Mac. There's no, but we're starting to see how this is going to happen. So, for example, on Android back in August, I think it was, and now on Windows Phone today, Microsoft has integrated OneDrive, the consumer OneDrive, and OneDrive, the business version, in the same app. And I think you're going to see that in the Windows shell. I think you're going to see it in the Mac. I think you're going to see it in iOS, i.e. everywhere. And then capabilities start getting piled on from there. But I think the first step is combining that stuff, making it one experience, and then making the experiences similar, if not identical, where possible across platforms. So I don't know that Windows 7 will ever be fixed. Why would they do that? But the Mac, absolutely. iOS, absolutely. And, on the mobile devices, you can do photo backup across all of your devices. Every single device I have, whether it's Windows, phone, Android, iOS, photos always back up to the exact same place.
So on
It's
the
awesome.
Mac, right? I'm looking at iCloud, the iCloud drive.
Yep.
I don't understand.
Are you
it.
giggling a little bit when you look at it?
Yeah, like I don't understand it really. It's not done well.
Well,
Like on mine, right? Like I have these folders. I have Automator, Script Editor, QuickTime Player, Text Editor, and Preview. I don't have that on any of my other computers. I just have it on this one in the iCloud drive, and I don't. And they're different, iCloud accounts. I don't understand why these are here. They're just empty folders.
Right.
I don't know why it's synced that way, but I don't know anybody using this for their desktop on the Mac.
Because it's an Apple product. I mean,
But they're not.
The Apple stuff.
I don't think they're using it.
Oh, you don't think they're using it?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, any usage it has is only because it's in, people know it because it's in the Apple products or whatever. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I just, but the problem with the iCloud stuff, I guess, is that it's obviously maybe not obviously, but there is a Windows client. I don't know why anyone would use this thing who's like a Windows user. It's very Apple centric. I mean, that's for a lot of people, that's exactly what they want. And God bless those guys. But, even for those people, though, I would say seriously, it's unlimited.
So something like the HP Stream, right? Because that's available now. $200, 11-inch laptop. It's a beautiful it's a pretty laptop.
Yeah.
They also have a 13-inch model that's $50 more. You're not
Right.
getting a lot of hard drive space with this thing. You're getting a 32 gig hard drive, but OneDrive would work perfectly with this thing.
Yeah, of course.
Because most of the
It
time you're
works
going to be
perfectly with
connected.
your phone.
Yeah, you're going to be connected most of the time. So you just put all your MP3s, put all your media stuff all on there, and you use as little hard drive as possible.
Right. Right.
What do you think of this?
And you can arbitrarily mark things as being available offline if that's what you want. So I mean, even on a big desktop computer like the one I'm using right now, I don't just put everything in OneDrive on my computer. I don't need all of it. I mean, a lot of it's kind of like deep kind of backup. I have a working, for example, I have lots of photos, lots of music. Actually, not lots of music, some videos, not a lot of that stuff. But the data, as far as like raw data goes, like documents and that kind of thing, I mean, I have various folder structures and so forth, but I have a work folder. I've been doing this for years. So I've got one for 2012. I've got one for 2013. I've got one for 2014. And then the next one down is 2014-10, meaning October. And so everything I'm working on now, when I finish it, goes into that folder.
Yeah.
That folder is available offline. Once I'm done with it, I'll push that into 2014, start a 2014-11 folder, and then I'll mark the old folder as online only. I don't need it anymore. Those files don't have to be on my computer, but they'll always be there. You never know. And the way Windows Search works is it doesn't matter if those files are local or not. I can still find it. It's like, I talked to Brad Anderson about something. I don't remember what month it was exactly or when it was. Search for Brad Anderson. It comes right up.
It comes right up because it's integrated in there. So for someone like me, right, that has terabytes of data, of videos, and I have everything organized in a year, can't I just drag those folders into my OneCloud and just call it a day and not use my hard drive for this? Because I'm never going to access it. It's going to be a rarity that I'm going to have to access those files ever.
Of course. Yep.
I don't need to use my hard drive at all for this.
Right. Now, I mean, you'll have to use it for the initial sync.
The initial sync, yeah.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In other words, I mean, I don't think there are a lot of these people, but maybe you bought an HP Stream. If you've got 32 gigs of storage, you probably have half that left by the time you open it up. You have this external hard drive, like a USB hard drive, and it has, maybe a couple of 100 gigabytes of data on it or less. That hard drive is bigger than OneDrive. I mean, bigger than your internal hard drive. So how would you get that into OneDrive? There's two ways. Like the first thing you could do is just copy portions of it into the OneDrive folder on the internal storage, wait till it syncs, and then mark that information as being online only. That will free up the space on the drive. You can copy more over. The other thing you can do, again, temporarily, move the OneDrive folder to the external drive. Copy the whole thing in at once. Leave your computer on so it syncs. Wait till everything syncs. Then move that folder back to the internal storage, and off you go to the races. Everything's fine.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's different ways to do
Yeah.
it. The point is you can do it. In fact, now that this is happening, maybe I should write something up about how to do this, like kind of store it like a storage / backup strategies, but again, it's there. It's there for the using. If you're using Windows in particular, but even, again, Android, iOS, Mac to a lesser extent today, I think that's going to get better.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with a lot of people.
It's
like
there.
they like Carbonite, right? You're backing stuff up to Carbonite, but it's in Carbonite. Like it doesn't feel like it's local. It feels like it's in the cloud.
It's not the file system. It's not natural.
Yeah, you want to see it, even if it's not there, even if it's offline.
Yep.
You want to see that file, that it's maybe a little grayed out or something, but you want to know that file exists there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the stream, the HP Stream, Paul. What do you think of this?
So I mean, I ordered one. I can only go off of what, we see on the Amazon site or on HP site or whatever. But I mean, I had first seen this back in July when I keep wanting to call him Ted Turner. When Kevin Turner, Microsoft's COO, held this thing up and said, this is a $200 laptop, and the place went nuts because it looks awesome. It's a beautiful looking machine. I think, we have to see it in person to know whether the build quality is there and, how good it really is and so forth. But it looks nice. I mean, if you look at pictures of it, it looks really nice. And so the $200 version is an 11.6 inch screen, as you would expect. Not quite a full size keyboard. Not bad on the ports department, USB 2, USB 3, audio out. It's got a micro SD card reader.
Standards. Yeah.
Yeah, all the basics.
How about the 14-inch or the 13-inch?
I don't know anything about, so I don't know. But I don't know what the specs are for that machine. It could be similar, but I think the couple of big things that stand out here is fanless, killer, battery life almost 8.5 hours.
That's great.
Rated. I mean, we'll see what it's like in real life. It's 2 gigs of RAM, which is on the low side for Windows. But remember, this is modern Windows 8.1 with Bing. It's the Update 1 version, which can run effectively in 1 gig of RAM. It's the type of computer. I mean, look, no one my size is going to be using this computer. I would hand this to my daughter. Would my daughter be able to use this? Actually, I'm going to find out. But I think so. I think this would be a great computer for a kid. And again, it's like $200. I mean, this is Chromebook territory, obviously. And this thing is so much more capable than a Chromebook.
I'm having a hard time navigating on the HP website. I can't find it on the HP website.
Really? That's weird because it's usually so...
Yeah.
It's usually so nice.
So the store has encountered a problem processing the last request. Try again later. If the problem persists, contact an administrator. Yeah, I'm going to contact the web admin. That's what it just told me. Let's see. Shop now. Everyday laptops.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out if I can find, or I'm trying to see if I can find a 13-inch page. I don't see it.
Unfortunately, the website's not working.
Yeah, and I don't have any information about that anywhere. But if you look up HP Slate 11, actually, that's not there either. HP's site is pretty terrible.
Oh, this is awful. Okay, so
and you can look up the 11 on Amazon.
Okay, here it is. The 14, the notebook, the 14-inch one.
Yeah,
so
that one's been out for a little while.
It looks like a MacBook. Free OneDrive. Okay, I'm trying to see, but I think this is a quad core. Yeah, it's a quad core. This one.
The 14-inch.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty.
What's the price on that?
$299.
Yeah, that's not bad.
1366 by 768, so it's the same display resolution as the 11.
Right.
32 gigs. It comes with 32 or 64, either or. 2 gigs of internal memory. Yeah, they're sticking to the 2 gig. You can't add more than 2 gigs. I wonder why.
Yeah, these things are. I don't know about the 14, but certainly the 11. I mean, it has the vibe of like a closed box. I don't think this is like the old days when you had little panels and you could, take out the wireless card and take out the battery.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's like that. I mean, I think it's kind of a closed box.
I mean, you got a quad core in here. It's more than enough to get you by for $299. This is a serious Chromebook competitor. Ichu
absolutely.
says limitations of the CPU. I think maybe that family CPU could only supports up to 2 gigs. Is that possible?
No, it's not possible. But no, I guess it is possible, but I doubt it. But
yeah, this is interesting. I'm really fascinated what the performance would be on these fanless chips. But the other thing is, this is running an AMD. This is an AMD, not an Intel. And it's fanless. The 14-inch.
The 14-inch.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
it's the AMD A4 Micro 6400T quad-core APU with Radeon R3 graphics. So they're also doing the fanless. Yeah, I'm more interested in this one than the 11-inch. The 11-inch feels...
the 13 I'm very curious about, but I don't know what the specs... Actually, I do kind of know what the specs are. I lost it. Obviously, the bigger screen. What else was different? If I disclose the page, I'm sorry. There was some other difference. Just for the bigger screen. I can't use an 11-inch screen. It's...
So apparently, okay. So there's the
full-size
HP.
keyboard,
Okay, I got it. There's the HP Stream 13, the HP Stream 14, and the 11.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the 13 is something different. So I guess the 13 is the Intel one.
Yeah, I think it's just the 13 is a bigger version of the 11. It's same color or colors eventually.
And I guess it's running Intel. This one. I want it in the pink, Paul.
Sure.
That's the one I want. This may be a great option for somebody. You don't want to. Oh yeah, this is a dual core. Yeah, dual core fanless pack. Yeah. But who's their market for this? Is it kids? Is that who they're targeting? Is it?
Well, you don't want to spend. You're going to give like a 10-year-old girl like a $1,000 MacBook Air. I mean, like you could buy 5 of these Slate things. I mean. What you might be giving that a 10-year-old or whoever is a Chromebook, though, right? Because Chromebooks are also $200, and now you have the opportunity to give them a full computer. And by the way, this comes with 1 year of Office 365 Personal, which is a $69 value. There will be unlimited storage on that account for the year too, by the way, and a $25 Microsoft, or I guess I should call it a $25 Windows Store gift certificate, which can be used for apps and games and that kind of stuff. And so there's like how does that work out to $95 almost of stuff on a $200 computer. The computer itself is essentially costing you like $100.
That's not bad.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm going to pick one of these up. I want to get one of these.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, people are asking, are you going to be trying out that WinBook?
Oh, this is the Micro Center thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that there's a couple WinBooks. So there's a small tablet, a big tablet.
TW801.
Yeah, the big tablet has a keyboard attachment, and so these are inexpensive alternatives to like the Dell Venue Pro 11, Dell Venue 8 Pro, etc. I'm not sure yet. Those guys are local to me. I've heard that they're really good. They're certainly inexpensive. I heard that the screen on the low-end tablet was better than the screen on the whatever that was, the $100 Toshiba piece of junk that I bought. I don't know. I don't have infinite money, and so I'm trying to spend money where it makes sense. But I'm not sure yet, I guess.
I mean, Micro Center has a lot of these tablets. I mean, the Dell.
Yeah. I've heard they're good.
Yeah, I wonder if they normally give out these like coupons for Micro Center. Like I'll get one that says like, come in and we'll give you a free Android tablet. Here you go. Just walk in the store and we'll give it to you. I've never actually done it, but I wonder if they'll start doing it with these ones instead. Because I'd rather have this one than a Dell.
Yeah.
Or an Android one.
I think obviously what you're looking for is that perfect combination of like low price and high quality, that kind of value part of it. And so, I've argued like the Toshiba Encore, whatever it's called, which is $99, is cheap, but it's not really a good value because the screen is so terrible. That's true of some really low end phones, like the Lumia 530 is like that, or that Blue Wind Junior is like that. Really kind of crappy low end screens. It kind of ruins it. You spend a couple of bucks more, you can get something decent. And I think the WinBook devices in their respective categories fall into that category. They fall into that mold. They're inexpensive, but also I've not seen them, but what I'm told is they're of high quality for the price, and so they could possibly be a very good value.
So, Paul, before we talk about the Kindle Fire Stick, which I want to get into this because it's an interesting little device that may be worth every penny. But before we do that, let's talk about our Patreon campaign. If you want to help the show out, you want to support the show, you want to keep us, doing this with limited ads. We're trying to pull back on the ads. We don't want to bombard you guys with it. We support companies that we personally like, and we want to limit the ads that we have on the show. And the way that we do that is by having you guys fund us. Right now, we're almost at $600, which is great. I really want to hit that 600 mark. If you go to patreon.com/whatthetech, you could give us anything, a nickel, a quarter, a penny, whatever you guys want to fund us each show. You guys fund it, and we give you guys a bonus show at the end of this show. We record a bonus show called What the Talk, and we post that on our website. It's patreon.com/whatthetech. Also, use our Amazon link whenever you buy something on Amazon. The holidays are here, and it's a huge help because we want to upgrade the studio here. And the way that we do that with Skype machines and with cameras and stuff like that is when you guys buy something on Amazon, we get a tiny little credit from every purchase. It's a couple % here and there. I believe the website is gfq.co/Amazon. Go there, bookmark it, and whenever you buy something, use that link and help us out. It's a big help every time you guys use that link to buy stuff. So, Paul, let's talk about the Kindle Fire Stick.
Okay.
They just announced this week. It's going to be $19.
Well, by the way, it's $19 through the end of the day today. So if you're listening to this live and you think you might want it, go to I'm sorry, I should say it's $19 for Prime subscribers through today. So if you're a Prime subscriber and you think you want it, buy it now because it's $19. If you're not a Prime subscriber, or if you wait until Wednesday or later, it's going to be $39.99, I think.
Which I'm gonna make a link right now, and I'm gonna post in the chat room.
Yeah.
And
By the way, both of these prices are great prices for this kind of thing. So it's an HDMI dongle. It looks like a Chromecast. It looks like a Roku streaming stick, which virtually no one has ever seen anyway. But like think Chromecast. In other words, like a dongle where the end is HDMI instead of USB. Plugs into the HDMI port on your TV. I don't know yet how it's powered. They don't really show that, but obviously there's a cord coming off of it with USB on it or whatever. And it displays on your computer. And so the thing is, it looks like a Chromecast, but it's actually not a Chromecast. And so this thing is much more like the Roku streaming stick. It's got a lot of RAM. It's got a lot of storage. It's got a beefy processor, and it's a standalone media device. It is, in other words, like a Roku, like an Apple TV, like the Amazon Fire TV, right? This is the stick version of the Fire TV. So it's slightly down market from the full Fire TV. And it comes with a remote. And so what that means is, compared to a Chromecast,
wait a minute, does it come with the remote for the $20?
Yep. It's not the same remote that comes with the full Fire TV, right? Okay. The full Fire TV remote has voice control built into it.
Oh, okay. So this doesn't have voice control.
This one doesn't have that. Although, by the way, you can buy that microphone separately, I think for $29.99 if you want to add that for some reason. It's not horrible. I mean, but I'm sure the remote that comes with it is just fine.
Okay.
I actually think this is an important distinction because Chromecast is fine, but the problem with Chromecast is you have to have a tablet or a phone, which we all have. But you've got that problem where media is playing, the doorbell rings, the phone rings, whatever it is, you want to take a bathroom break. You got to fish the device out. You got to wake it up. You got to type in your PIN code, and you got to press pause on the thing. If you just had a remote, it's like press pause. It's simple. And so this is a standalone device. Unlike a Chromecast, it doesn't require you to have another device. That's an important distinction, and it means that this is a much better device in general, right? It doesn't do Google Play services, but it's a much better device type, I guess, than Chromecast. And so it's got that advantage. The second thing it does, by the way, is it's a Miracast dongle as well. Roku's latest devices, I think it's Roku 3 is the standalone set-top box, and the Roku streaming stick recently had firmware updates that add Miracast capabilities to those devices. Actually, as I say that, I realize I haven't actually tested that yet, and I have to. Miracast works with modern Windows 8 Plus devices. It works with Android, also I guess modern Android at 4 point something and up, I don't remember. And it works with certain Windows Phone devices, including most modern Lumias. So if you have a 1520, it works with that. I know. Probably Icon. I don't remember which ones exactly.
This device is not coming out for a while.
So it wasn't clear when they announced this, right? It's a pre-sale, like it's a pre-order, right? Somebody just told me that they ordered this, and I've ordered this. I guess I didn't look at it, but I don't know if it says on the site.
It says release date is Wednesday, November 19th.
Yeah.
But
okay, so
my delivery date is January 2nd.
Yeah. So So yeah, it says due to popular demand, orders placed today are expected to arrive after January 1st.
Okay, I'm canceling my order.
Yeah, so you're not going to get it for Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Remember, it's still $20. My recommendation to you would be order it. And if you hear from me or anyone else that it's a piece of crap, you can cancel the order. You got 2 months now.
Yeah.
Why not just leave the order in place?
I mean, it's an interesting device. So here are my questions for this. Gaming wise, obviously, you're going to get better performance with the Kindle Fire TV, but
it's even more nuanced than that because the Fire TV has a quad core processor versus dual core.
This is a dual core, yeah. But if you're just watching Netflix and the WWE Network and Hulu, you're fine.
Yeah, actually, but to go back to games real quick, the Amazon Fire TV has an optional game controller. Looks like an Xbox controller. Mm-hmm. That doesn't work with this thing.
Okay.
So the Android games that Amazon that Amazon has allowed into the store that are modified for the controller aren't going to work on this. I mean, they would work with it with the remote probably. I'm sure some of them work that way, but it's not the full game experience you're going to get with the Fire TV. So that's part of it.
I'm looking at the apps that are supported here.
That's everything.
It's essentially everything. So how is this going to compare to the Roku stick?
I think these things are going to be almost identical. It's going to boil down to performance, and there's no way to know what that is until we actually see them side by side. They're basically the same thing. You know, the thing that you lose with this type of device compared to like a standalone Roku or an Apple TV, whatever, is there's no optical audio, there's no Ethernet capability. Obviously, it's wireless only, and that's what most people want. But I mean, for people who care about this kind of stuff, or really want the more strenuous performance or whatever, you're not going to get that kind of thing. But I mean, this is like it's like a $40 dongle.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're going to get better performance than an Apple TV.
Again, we'd have to see. The Apple TV's out of date, as we know. I mean, it's been a long time since they've updated that box. Apple tends to go their own route with the internals. I don't know what kind of processor that thing has, how much RAM, all that stuff. I don't know. I mean, Apple TV seems okay to me, but look, this thing's like the size of a stick of gum. It can do 1080p video, right? It can do 7.1 surround sound. It can connect to virtually, well, it's funny. Google Play and iTunes are kind of like the two biggest ones. It can't connect to those, but neither can Roku. I mean, it connects to all the important standalone services like Netflix and Hulu and Pandora and Spotify and all that stuff. And so, $40, you know what I mean? Like, even if you hate Amazon, you have like this burning hatred of Amazon. This thing is $40, and right now it's $20 if you're a Prime customer, which a lot of people are. So obviously, it's been really successful. They've had to delay, the release of it.
Yeah, so I'm and this coming at
for new orders.
This $19 is dirt cheap for this device.
That's crazy,
and this is undercutting, everybody. I mean, really, it's undercutting almost everybody in that market. And if the performance is up to speeds with the Roku 3, because I know for a fact that the Amazon Fire TV, which I don't have one, but I use it, it is fast. I mean, the interface is really quick, and I have a Roku 2, and the Roku 2 is a little slow, and the Apple TV is a little slow, and I don't even want to talk about Google TV because that's a piece of junk. But if this is faster than those, something that most people have for $19, I would rather take this than $100 for the Fire.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I would say, I have every one of these devices. I'm ridiculous like that. But honestly, the one we use the most often is Roku 3. That's the one. Well, that's one of the ones that's out in the living room. But when my kids watch Netflix, people tend to gravitate toward that device for whatever reason. I mean, we have Netflix capabilities on Apple TV. We have them on the Xbox. We have them on the Amazon that's out there. But the kids and everyone tends to use the Roku for whatever reason. But there's a lot of convenience to this. It plugs in behind the TV. There's no wires that you can see. It doesn't add. There's no junk out. It's like hidden. Yeah. And I think that's a big deal for a lot of people. If you're in college or a small apartment or whatever, I mean, it's just kind of it's just a nice thing. And I think I'll have to see again. I don't want to go too crazy on this thing. I don't have one yet, but I mean, it is really cheap and the specs seem to stand up. And so I would certainly, the full blown Fire TV is a great set top box. I mean, it's your basic $100 set top box.
Do you like it? I mean, you have it.
Oh yeah, it's great. You can go back and look at my review.
Out of all the devices that you have, is it the fastest interface?
I'm not really sure because the truth is like I said, we use Roku more. And the reason for that is just the familiarity of it. I mean, the Amazon UI is a little different. It takes a little bit of getting used to. It's got a different navigational approach. And the one thing, I would say when it comes to watching video, we're kind of Roku-centric. I'm sorry, I should say Netflix-centric. Whereas the Apple I'm sorry, so many companies here. The Amazon interface is very Amazon-centric. Yeah. So the Amazon stuff is kind of right up front and center. And we have access to Prime Video. We obviously have a Prime account and all that. But the truth is, for video, we tend to go for Netflix first. And so the Roku is, just because of the way it is less interested in pushing its own stuff on you because it doesn't have any, than say Amazon is, and say Apple obviously is, than say Google obviously will be. The Roku one is just kind of, you can very easily take all the junk off the screen. We just have a few tiles on it or whatever. It's like Roku. I don't remember what's on it. It's Roku. It's I'm sorry, Netflix basically, and like 4 or 5 others. And I don't know. Like I said, for us, I think it's fine. Performance wise, yeah, it's the Amazon's great. But
now the Nexus player is going to be shipping in about a month.
I know we got this one coming,
and I just don't know.
So I have, we have some number of HDMI inputs on the back of the TV, and they go through the wall.
I have nothing left.
Yeah, no, I don't either. So in other words, they come through in this little cabinet. And so in that cabinet, we have an Xbox 360, we have an Apple TV, we have a Roku, and we have the Amazon. And then we have a side HDMI port. And typically that has the Chromecast in it. And if you think about all those devices and how stupid that is, that satisfies every digital media ecosystem there is on Earth that matters. Google Play, iTunes, Apple, Microsoft's, right? And then the Roku, which has Netflix, Hulu, yada, yada, on and on. And between those devices, that's literally everything. For the past few weeks, though, I've been using the Microsoft Miracast dongle in there instead of Chromecast because I'm reviewing it. And then in my office on a separate HD TV, I have the other Microsoft Miracast device, which I'm also testing to review. So, for most people, though, most people aren't this, they don't have all this stuff going on. So, you have an Android tablet and a Windows laptop, or you have all Mac stuff and iOS stuff. And so depending on what you have, different things are going to make sense. Maybe you buy all your media through Amazon,
Then the Amazon interface.
Then one of the Amazon ones would make more sense. And so, I'll review this thing. I'll compare it to the things it's comparable to. I'll compare it to the other Amazon and all that stuff. But I mean, ultimately, most people are going to buy one thing and use it. We do have several things. The truth is, we gravitate toward one thing basically. I mean, I use the iTunes one a lot. I use the Apple TV. I use that a lot. I don't use the Amazon a lot. I don't use the Xbox 360 for media a lot because it's louder or whatever. But they're all fine. All of those are fine. Every one of those is fine.
Yeah, like I need to replace my Apple TV because I absolutely hate their Netflix interface. It sucks. I mean, it's really bad. And people tell me to check out the Fire TV, and I was waiting for the Google device to come out. But it doesn't seem like they're going to have the WWE network on there. And what's the point? Because I watch wrestling all day long.
What's the point of life?
What's the point of life if you don't have the WWE network? For me, I guess I'm either going to go with a Roku or the Amazon box. And I kind of would rather go with the Amazon if that's the case.
I've seen no indication from Roku that they intend to release
a Roku
like a
4.
new full-size box anytime soon.
Yeah.
I've not heard. Like the Roku 3, it seems to me has been around for a little while. Maybe I'm misremembering that, but it seems like it's been around for a little while.
Let's see. What happens if I'd put in Roku 4?
Yeah.
Nothing. Roku 4 better impress. Android TV's coming. Okay, so it's not really.
Oh yes. And then, of course, you got the Nexus Play thing.
Yeah,
which
that's
also
what I was talking about.
So, or have I? Actually, that's not available for pre-order.
No, 4 weeks.
So I will. I mean, obviously, that's on this,
It's actually available. No, I think you could pre-order it now.
Can you?
Yeah. Because remember, they took it down because they didn't have FCC approval.
Yeah, that's right. So I never did pre-order that, so I should probably get going on that.
So they're saying we'll ship, leaves warehouse in 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh, jeez. A lot of stuff,
A lot. I mean, it's Christmas again. That's what happens.
I have a feeling all of these are going to be great. And I used to bust on Chromecast a lot. The truth is, if you're a heavy user of the Google Play stuff, you have an Android device, Android tablet, whatever, Chromecast, Chromebook, even if you just use Chrome in a Windows computer, or even if you use an iOS device, there are a lot of iOS apps that work just fine with Chromecast. It's not horrible. It just kind of puts the whole relationship with content on its head. You're navigating and doing stuff on the device and then kind of blasting it to the screen. Whereas I feel like, I feel like that thing is kind of a middleman and is not necessarily necessary.
Yeah.
But that's my take on it. I don't know.
I guess the piggyback systems, the pass-through system concept is dead.
Yeah, right.
Right? I mean, there's no reason to do it anymore. And I was a big fan of that, but I guess nobody wants to do it.
Because it was a way to have one thing, right? But
and
it really
still makes sense to do that.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, it could.
It still kind of makes sense to do it, but I guess Nobody really wants it, which I understand.
Yeah,
Like my cable looks crappy going through the Google TV.
right.
It does something to it. I don't know. Who knows what it's doing, but it's doing something. All right, Paul. Time to wrap it up. It's over. Party. It's time to leave. Party's done. Go to our website, gfknetwork.com. If you miss any portion of the show, go to winsuperside.com. All things Paul Thurrott. Also, Paul does a phenomenal podcast, Windows Weekly, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. East. You can follow Paul on Twitter at Thurrott. You can follow me at Andrew Zarian. If you're watching live, stay tuned. We will be recording What to Talk. And if you're not watching live, see you guys later.